What it is, YouTube. You know who it is. It's your boy, the Moose. Moose Squad. Let's kick it.
Three, two, one.
Man, I have an interesting topic today. I've done one before, but I'm going to do it again. Because XLR and DMX are not the same. And I'm about to prove it. But first of all, I want to say that there are two types of DMX. There is your wireless DMX that goes from a transmitter to a receiver. And I will get more into these in a second. And then you can send your DMX through what looks like to be an XLR cable. It looks like an XLR cable. Why can't I use it for XLR? I will explain it here in a second. This is the DMX wire. And guess what? Look at this. This is the DMX right here, and this is your XLR. But look at the difference. There's no difference, is there? There's no difference. They're made the same. Why can't I use them? Let's get into it. Okay. So, there's a couple things that you're probably wondering to know. Is wired DMX better than wireless DMX? And why can't I use XLR cables for my wired system? Well, we're going to talk about this. This is very important. So hear me out. Okay, so let's get into the science. Okay, it says the difference between XLR and DMX is cable's performance. Yes, it's possible that you could use XLR as DMX connections, but DMX has higher independent rate. It uses 110 ohms rather than XLR 75 ohms. This means that XLR uses a different signal than DMX and is built to handle an XLR cable can transmit a DMX signal, but not very well. An XLR cable used for this is likely cause flickering lights and or experience signal loss even if it works at all. Okay. What is an ohm? Well, I'm here to tell you what an ohm is. Ohm, ohm, ohm. Not chrome, chrome. Anyway, I get in trouble when I play that video, so I'm not going to play it. It's Garfield and friends. They go to this island, and I'll show you the video. Here's the video. The ohm is defined as an electrical resistance between 2 points of a conductor and a constant potential difference of 1 volt. Applied to these points, proceeds in the conductor are current and 1 ampere, and the conductor not being the seat of the electromovement force. These are called linear resistors. Okay, that's what an ohm is. Ohm is resistance between 2 points. So basically, it's what keeps the signal activated is what resistance does. Resistance is like you plug in one side and then you plug in the other side to the light. This is DMX. You plug it into the light, and that's how it talks to each other. So basically, what's happening is the ohm is what talks to each other. It gets the information back and forth of what it needs to have on the amp side. And it'll send 1 amp that way and 1 amp back. It'll go back, it goes back and forth. Is what the signal does. I don't know which part of the wire does what on DMX, but I know that the third one is ground. So I think 1 and 2, 1 sends a signal and I think 2 send a signal back. So the signal is going like this. Now, I don't have him with me, but you need to make sure that if you're running wired systems, you have a terminator like this, or you can have a terminator like this. Whatever. I thought I'd throw that in there. Okay, so this guy right here, I told you I was going to talk about him. Him. And him. These I got off eBay. And believe it or not, they kick some booty. I spent $100 and I got 3 donors. 3 donors and a whip. And I call it a whip. Whip it. Whip it good. Anyway. Cheesy. But effective. Now, this thing works really good 2 ways. One way is you get the donor. Now listen, I'm going to explain this to you. I didn't bring it in, but I should have. We'll get into that in the next video. We're going to talk about sound switch and what you need to do sound switch. And then we're going to talk about all the others that you need, that you can use for your wireless or your wired system. Now, this guy right here is the Rock Force 192. Rock Force 192. You can see it. See, it's Rockville, and then right up here it says 192. Rockville, Rock Force 192. And it's a DMX bridge. This is a bridge. In technical terms, this is considered a bridge. When you order one of these, you're not going to call it a bridge. You're going to call it a controller. But this is considered a light bridge. And theater tech. Now, the reason I wanted to mention the XLR cable and the DMX cable is because you can get confused. When you purchase DMX cabling, I recommend that even if you don't see it, you make it visible. You make it visible that this is your DMX wire. Now this is DMX1 on it. Now this was originally set up for my DMX system. And basically I had it all rigged up into here. And these would go to the moving heads first. And then the light, basically, no, because I had the lights on two different setup. I had a different setup then. So the lights went there first. Okay. Just to let you know, DMX is backwards from XLR. It's totally backwards, as you know. That is how the DMX comes out. As you can see, it goes female to male. And in XLR, it goes male to female. So these wires are backwards. So the wires are backwards. So basically, it's wired differently. The 2 is a 1 and a 1 is a 2. So there's no basically way that you can physically use the wire. It's saying that if you do plug the wires in, you'll get maybe something, but you might not get nothing. So I'm going to save you guys an idea. It doesn't work. I've tried it. It don't work. Even with the Terminator. Okay. So these can be used two ways. So how I have it set up, if you see my moving heads, I have them both on a bar. They're on a bar together. The one gets plugged in to this. The wire goes across to the others. Okay. Now, I have two more. This one, or one of these, it doesn't really matter. It goes to my lights that are up, my up lights. Now, how I usually do my up lights is I usually put this on there. I did it at 1 gig. I put this on there, and then I ran DMX cable across the venue. So you can DMX the wires together and use these. But what I'm going to say is this, is when you wire like a whole bunch of lights together and then you put one of these on there, don't do it. It doesn't work. The signal will start getting lost down the road. It doesn't sound right, but it does. I used it on 4 lights flawlessly. I would say if you're going to do it this way, wire one half of the room with one and wire one half of the room with the other. The further you get away from this is when you're going to have to get another booster. And I don't have the booster. The booster's in the garage. There's a black box that you could actually purchase that you could put across the room. And you could put one of these in for the receiver. It's kind of hard to explain, but you can plug it in together and it'll talk back and forth over and over the room by for 1 signal. So if I plug this into my PROX boards, I get a bunch of these little zappers here. Some of them come with 2 of these. I recommend that you get one with 2 because you could basically send the signal and it'll strengthen the signal, and then you just get the other one and you can send the signal back and forth. But as long as you have one of these, you should be able to send the signal back and forth to where you gotta go in the venue. Or wherever you got going, but don't put them outside and think that you're gonna get think of this as a microphone. You can go through different rooms with microphones and stuff like that, and then it'll take it and catch it and be all that good. But it's good to have one of these plugged in. This is plugged in permanently. It doesn't unplug. These are wireless battery operated for $100. You can get these cheaper, but they're wired. So make sure that you get the wireless one. Here's a link below where I got mine. As you can see, it says eBay. Click on that link, it'll take you right to it, and you can go ahead and check them out. They make a bunch of them. If you go to eBay and you put in wireless donors, you can get different versions. Make sure that you read the full content before you order. Make sure you do. Read all the content. I'll go through a tutorial on that, on why to read about content in a later video. With that being said, I want to show some love. Oh, thanks for watching. Leave comments below. Y'all know the biz. Do all this. And peace out.